Okay, looks like we're ready to get started with this matchup. Molina ORTIZ versus Dan LOUIE. Big time Northwest matchup coming here in the elite singles, getting down to the wire. I believe this is a 5th, 6th place match. It is. Loser gets 5th, 6th. Winner goes on to play the 4th place match. And Molina has just been absolutely on fire in this tournament. Dan LOUIE as well. So this is a really exciting matchup to watch. See how this is going to work out. All right. Danny bearing down on this one ball, trying to put some stop on it, and gets a little rattle. Is he oh, I'm sorry, we are still practicing. I thought the game was on. We do that all the time as commentators. We thought this was an actual game, the way you racked them up and got going, but this is just getting warmed up for the match. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, we are off and running. Coin flip has been completed. Molina won the toss, and we'll be starting this off. So Molina ORTIZ really having a great tournament. On the B side, she defeated Jeff Sorsdahl by a score of 9-3, and then she went on to defeat Bill Rosenberry 9-2, and then defeated Steve Klein 9-2. So she has just been red hot in her last 3 matches. The one that was streamed, we did some commentary for, which was the Bill Rosenberry, and she had a rack in that match that was 5 balls on the break she made, was hooked on the 1. She jumps, pockets the 1, and runs out. It was unbelievable. Just put together an incredible set. And this is going to be a little bit of a rough start to get going. Don't know if she can see the entire 1 ball to be able to pocket this in the top right corner. So she's calling a push out. Pushing to a jump, it looks like. I'm not sure if that's where she wanted to be, but maybe she did. She's going to challenge Dan LOUIE. And he's giving it back. As we all would in this situation. And I think she intentionally put that there because she knows that the jump shot is on with a straighter angle, better chance of potting the 1, and this is long distance. And the position on the 2 would not be guaranteed. So is she calling, did she call the 5? I saw her point to that pocket in the top left, so I'm not sure. She might be calling the 5 here. Jump to hit the side of the 1 and bank the 1 over towards the 5. She might be calling the 1 over there. I think she did actually call the 1 over there. A heck of an attempt, because that's what would have gotten her shape on the 2. Very smart call from Molina, because it kind of goes into backdoor safety. It's kind of a 2-way. Jumping to hit the left side of the 1 like she did, calling the 1 in the top left corner. She knew that that would bring the cue ball back into traffic, potentially leaving Dan LOUIE with a problem. And if it went, she would have had the 2. So a really smart play. But Dan, I think he's got a kick shot here, maybe a kick and stick on the 1. See how far he can get it. And that's going to give a window. So I would call that a successful push out from Molina to push to a jump and then jump to a bank 2-way and gets the table back with an opportunity to run. Okay, a little bit of a rattle there, but that is very fortunate that it got tied up to the 6. And Danny's going to have to kick at this ball, calling the bottom left corner. I wonder if he's going to elect to kick 2 rails at it. Now he's looking at the other corner. Yeah, he's changing his mind, because this one, it actually, I think, has better odds of making it because it's closer to the pocket. And this one, you do want to go 2 rails into. So he's going to be looking for this 2 rail kick into the top of the 1. Then bringing the cue ball up towards the 2, might bump the 2 on the way out if he's successful here. Yep. Good try from Dan. It worked out. So already we're off and running with a safety battle right off the bat. Molina just waves it off, letting him know that she's not calling anything. Didn't get enough of that rail to be able to bring the cue ball back the other way. Ends up catching the point and rattling out, giving Dan an opportunity at this 1. And I believe that the safety here is going to be right behind the 4 ball. I think you're just going to float this forward, bringing the cue ball slightly off the rail and just nudge it right up next to that 4. Unless he wants to take on the combo on the 5. See how aggressive he wants to be. I don't think the aggression is the right way to go. This is a beautiful safety. He gets nice and tight to that 4 ball. Taking away a lot of kicking angles, getting really close in there between the, pinching it between the rail and the 4. It takes away the majority of the kicking angles that you could possibly have. And she's looking to see how in the world does she get out of this one. And I don't even know if I can draw this up with my pen. Tim Harper in the chat, this is 9 ball is in every division except for the elite. The elite divisions play 10 ball. But you're correct. This entire event is the Lincoln City WBCA 9 ball championships. But the exception to that is elite plays 10 ball. Okay, so here we go. I'm not sure where the window is here that she's going to go through. Oh my gosh. I didn't know she had room. Maybe she didn't. But ends up fouling. So Dan with a fantastic lockup safe on the 4. He wins the safety battle and gets the first crack at the table with ball in hand. And Dan over here playing connect the dots with this pattern. Oh no. An unforced error on that 3 ball, and he almost can't believe it. Something must have happened. Something must have got his attention or drew his focus away from that shot, because it's a very uncharacteristic miss from Dan. I know he wants that one back. And Molina getting right back to the safety game, as she does so often. Dan might have to do a Z kick here. I'm not sure, but I think, well, he might not. If he's got this line, he can get to it. Yeah. Okay. So I think he's calling the 3 ball. It's hard to know, but I think he's going to call the 3 ball in that top left corner. Takes the second, oh no, cue ball. So he got 2 rails into it. I'm not sure if he wanted to catch the second rail there, or if he did, not that far underneath the ball, because it sent the cue ball directly into the pocket. So now the tables have turned, and Molina has the ball in hand. the opportunity to take first blood. And an error from Molina right here. So a couple of early match errors. We'll chalk it up to the first rack jitters, I guess. That missed 3 ball from Dan, and then the missed position from the 3 to the 4 from Molina, which we haven't seen too much from her in her last few matches. So she's just intentionally giving up ball in hand and trying to tie up the 6 and 7. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think it got there. So she didn't want to just sell out the open table. I think she was, it was pretty much a sure bet to get the good hit on the 4 ball, but a long shot to pocket the ball, and just didn't want to give Dan an open look. So she decides to tie up the 6-7, but I don't think it was successful. I believe that 6 still does play. He's got to watch this side pocket because he's going to swing this around and go to the side rail over here on the right side of the table and back around for the 6. Look at this. You got to watch the scratch on the side, and you have to watch the scratch in the corner. You had 2 scratches to avoid on that shot, so there's a lot of obstacles there. Pitfalls to avoid, I guess you would say. West Side Wizard. We are always looking for sponsorship for EvoSports. Send me a message on Facebook Messenger if you'd like, Patrick Nix, and we can talk about details, but absolutely. Molina with the power draw off the side rail. Gets a little extra out of it, but it's no problem. Should be able to swing this around 2 rails and play the 10 in the side, I believe. That's what I like anyway, but we'll see what she likes. Yep, 10 in the side. Perfect position. All right, so a lot of back and forth in that first rack. There was, a couple errors, I think, on both sides. And Molina's decision to take the intentional foul and tie up the 6-7, which was not really successful because the 6-7 did not tie up, it still created enough of an issue for Dan that he ended up erring on the position and dropping the cue ball in the corner pocket. So here we go, rack number 2. A ball in on the break, and not sure. I don't think he's got a clean look at the 1, but he might. It's possible that he can get a good hit on it. He might have to kick, and he's hampered over the top of the 6. He might be thinning this 1 and trying to bring the cue ball back to the 5-6 where it is now. Okay, didn't quite get there with the cue ball, but he did get partial coverage with the 4 ball. But that's going to leave Molina an edge of the 1 and be able to move that cue ball down table. Let's see. It doesn't look like that cue ball is going to end up landing in any trouble unless it uses the template rack to snug up to the 10 ball. That would have been interesting. Seen that happen a lot when you leave the rack on the table and you play a safety and slow roll the cue ball in there and have it just sort of snug up to the rack. And Dan says, enough of this. I'm getting this template off the table. Okay. Tough position on the 2. He might decide to kind of take the medicine on the 2 ball and leaving that cue ball, you know, kind of in this area here. It'd be fine. He rattles it, really juiced that a little extra. And I don't think he wanted to take the medicine. I think he wanted to get a little closer to it. And I think that, you know, even if you leave the cue ball right in here somewhere on that, you're still pretty good with that 2. But I understand the desire to force follow and get a little closer to the ball in a little better position, making the out a little easier. However, it does come with risk, and this is another positional error from Molina. And a very good attempt at the 2-rail kick on the 2. Just didn't quite get there. It was very close, and I think if she would have hit that a little bit fuller, she would have had, or thinner, she would have had the ball and the position on the 3. So it was a good attempt. And Dan, that was a nice little nudge on the 8. I think that's going to help out a little bit towards the end of this rack. Make it a little bit easier to get from the 8 to the 9. Having that little bit of separation. Okay. And Dan knows that the combo is there. No reason to try to play short side on the 5. Just take this combo and move the cue ball out a bit. The 8 to the 9 is going to be the transition that he's got to put some extra attention on. I think he might ideally like a straight position on the 8 so he can just draw straight back for the 9. If he can get fairly flat on it, it would be good. That's pretty good. Down it goes. We got a tie game. And again, this is a 5th, 6th place match. So the loser of this will get 5th, 6th in the Elite Division. The winner goes on to play the 4th place match, which will be the winner between, well, there's actually, we don't really know who that match is going to be in the other spot of the 5th, 6th. We're still waiting for Damian Pongpanic and Chad Bisconner to finish their match, which is Chad is up 6-4 over Damian. The winner of that will go on to play Greg Odell. And the winner of that will play the winner of this. So the brackets are found on Bracket Beast, which is Bad Boys' proprietary bracketing system they're using for this event. 2 balls down on the break and a safety coming at the 1. I see it's a very, very high % chance that Dan is going to be frozen to the backside of this 2 ball to start this rack. That's pretty good. Not a whole lot of room to get out of there. He's looking to see if he can, come into this rail. He's looking at this line, but look at how close to the 9 that gets. It looks really close to the 9. Oh, yeah, he would have been able to hit it without hitting the 9, so just got a little bit wider than he needed to, and that's ball in hand for Molina. See what she likes. She did win a match previously on a 3 foul in her match against Bill Rosenberry. That ended on a 3 foul. So she's no stranger to that, but she's looking at this 110 combo. And I'm assuming she's going to draw back for the safety. It's what I think she likes here, is to see if she can draw that cue ball back into behind the 7 ball. Just in case the 10 doesn't go, but no, she decided, oh no. Oh, she's just going to go ahead and forfeit the rack because she knows she just set up the 110 and that rack is over. So that rack goes to Dan LOUIE. And he didn't really do a whole lot to earn that one. He only had 1 shot at the table and it was a foul. And he ends up getting the rack. And that's the problem with going for the early 10, is that if you don't hit it, they usually say hit those firm. So you just don't want to leave them still available for your opponent to steal the rack from you. And that's exactly what happened. So Dan LOUIE gets a free one. A free pass, we'll call it. Wow. Look at this break. The table sprung a leak. He's pocketed. It looked like more went into pockets, but I guess it was a 3-ball break, pocketing 3 balls on that break. But look at how he ended up. It's just not fair when you have such a great break and you don't have any look at the 1 at all. So he has to push out. There's no other option. And I'm thinking if you're going to push, maybe push to this spot right here, so that she can only see, you know, a cut bank on the 1, if anything, and it's difficult for her to play safety from that position. But he's got something else in mind. He's pushing to the side rail over there. and he's going to give up the edge of the 1 this way. Now, this angle here, she might be able to get safe behind the 4. So, interesting. I think those were two different options of where to push to. One being on the left side of the table there, where he did, and the other being on the high end. But she's going to try to get behind the 4. Comes a little short, and Dan's going to get rewarded for his push out. If he can pocket this 3 and get pocket this 1 and get shape on the 3. Not easy to do if he takes the side. If he takes the corner, that'll allow him more movement on the cue ball to get it over to get shape on the 3. So he does get the side, and he punches the cue ball through that window between the 9-10. Excellent shot from Danny. Dan Louie, a former world champion from, I believe, 1976 World Championship, defeating Mike Siegel. So he's been in this game for a long time. He's got a lot of knowledge and a lot of skill. And he kind of got on the incorrect side of the 7 a little bit. I think he can correct this with some inside English and spin back to the short side of the 8. Got to watch the scratch. These can get scratchy if you put a little bit too much inside on them. Sends you into that top right corner, but we'll see how he manages. This is pretty good. Very manageable here. Now just looking where he wants to be for the 1. I don't know that he's going to be able to hold it where he just put his cue. It kind of, to me, looks like a little too steep of an angle to be able to hold that, but maybe he kills it with some inside. Yeah, it looked like it was really tough to hold where he wanted it, just because of the steepness of the angle that he had. I kind of favored maybe going either up and down or just down a little bit further and playing it for the side. I don't know, maybe that's what he was intending to do, but certainly not happy with where it ended up. He's going to have a severe back cut to the side pocket, and that's going to make that cue ball move quite a bit more. But 3 rails with the cue ball does get you back around for the 10 if you can execute this steep cut on the 9 ball. Let's see what he's got. Is he banking? Or is he cutting it to the corner? I think he might be banking this. He tried the bank. It's going to leave the cue ball all the way down table for Molina. A difficult shot, but one that's definitely within her wheelhouse. And she's got to be happy to have an opportunity at this table. Just a second ago, she was looking at being down 3-1. Now she has an extra opportunity. 9 ball down, 10 ball. Good job. Excellent job handling the nerves. Those shots are nervy. If you don't make them, you almost always lose the rack, especially in the elite level. Drains it, and we got a tie ball game. Thank you, Russ Zorn. Yeah, I did mention that. Elite play 10 ball. Everybody else plays 9 ball. Looks like we've got a handful of viewers, about 26 live viewers. Hit that share button. I know a lot of people are going to want to watch this, and maybe they just don't know that it's going on right now. Always nice when the viewers can share the streams for us. And Molina with a dead straight shot on the break. And usually for her, that's very successful in pocketing the balls that sit behind the head ball. But this one ended up dry, and unfortunately for her, sets up a straight in shot on the 1 in the side. Where does he want to be on the 2? It doesn't have much angle to really do much here, so he might actually draw this back. If he has no angle at all, you might see him draw this back to the rail. It does look like he's maybe just going to leave the cue ball kind of where it is right now, or where the 1 ball is. Yeah, right there, because that does work for position on the 2. Don't get shape when you have shape. That's what they say. Okay, what's Danny have in store now? A back cut on the 3, you think? Pocket the 3 in the side, and he's going to send the cue ball into the 5-4-9 situation down there. And he hits it perfect and gets shape on the 4 in the side. So look at this, here we go. He has officially solved the rack. And now he just needs to execute the rest of the way to take the lead. And take advantage of the dry break from Molina.
Wow, incredible shot. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make this, but I take that back now with this position. Lock and chat up on this.
Okay, he bumped the 9 with his cue, asking Molina if she wants to move it back. It's not a foul because nothing went through the path. It's just a little extra movement. Dan saying, you want to move it back? I think it was here. She says, yeah, sounds good. Move it back. I don't know. It might have been harder for him to get shape on the 7 if she would have left it where it went, because it would have kind of become a bigger obstacle for the shape on the 7. Possibly. She said move it back, and he did. Draw this off the side rail and out. Looking for a stop shot here. A little stun over. Yep. If he's got a little bit of an angle, it'd be good. If not, looks like he's drawing this. Dan LOUIE taking the lead. It was a great run out off of the dry break from Molina. There was some balls tied up in there, and he had to rearrange the furniture, and he came out smelling like a rose. That shot on the 3 ball was really what won in the rack. Was able to come colliding into a couple of balls down table and ends up getting perfect shape on the 4 afterwards. So that was the key shot of the rack. Cut on the 3 in the side. So who all's out there listening? Who's watching the stream? Hit me up in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. How far out are we reaching? Anybody have any predictions out there on this match? Who do you like? Who's your favorite in this one? Both players are playing pretty well. Dan smashes that break and gets really good shape on the 1, pockets a ball, and this looks like the possibility for a run-out rack. That's always nice when you can take a dry break for your opponent and turn it into 2 wins in alternate break format with the run out and then the break and run. That's always very hard for your opponent to come back from because they've been sitting in their chair for a long time. See if Dan can get it going. Keep the run going. I like it. Correct side of the 2 ball. Okay, I was curious about this 5, if it passes the 9 or if he has to play this as a combo. We're going to find out. I think he's got room to pass it. Which is more ideal. Or he could go rail, into the ball, into the pocket, but it did. It had room. And good shape here on the 6 to where he could use top and float down for the 7. And Dan LOUIE looking for the first break and run of the set. These last 4 balls. He's a little flat on this, but it's okay because the 9 is in a very manageable position on the table, so he doesn't have to do anything crazy to get good shape on the 9. Can really be played from almost anywhere. Don't think that it's on the rail down there. I think it's a bit off the rail, so should be good. Just bring the cue ball up a bit. And I just like bringing this cue ball 1 rail straight down for the 10. These are the shots where it's okay to come up short. Much better than going too far. Okay, so he uses left English to get to the other side of the 10. And the break and run is complete. So the dry break from Molina in the last rack cost her 2 games. That was literally a 2-game swing. And that's how it works in the elite division. Mistakes come with a heavy price. What's up, Diana, from watching from Tumwater? Hello, welcome. Tumwater area. I think we're going to have a commentator from the Olympia area coming on soon for one of the other matchups. And a good break from Molina that time. She was a little frustrated about the neighboring table over there. Sometimes these tight quarters can be a little frustrating when you're kind of getting set and you get bumped into a little bit here and there.
I quit buying them. No, I brought a second Magic rack because I thought I always lose one. The first 2 matches, I forgot them both.
So Molina playing with a little faster pace, it looks like. Just a touch. Okay, I was going to say this could go off the 6 and be a little scratchy, but got cleaned by the 6. Checking to see if the 6 plays through that window. Don't think it does. Pretty sure that 9 is in the way. Might have the edge of the pocket for the 6, so if not, she's going to have to draw this back. I don't think that's going to be good. If that 6 doesn't play, she's in trouble. She might have been trying to really cheat that pocket on the 5 to get over enough to play the 6 in the bottom left corner. But okay, it looks like it plays. From the camera, it doesn't look like it's got a lot of room. Yeah, I think she had to aim for the edge of the pocket. Like the 9 ball might have been partially blocking. And Dan LOUIE with a chance to take a 3-game lead. Five ball out. And gives the 8 ball a little nudge, but ends up with a nice angle. Very helpful angle to get him in position to the 9. Yep, looking at where he wants to be. Old top inside. Spin that cue ball into. See if he can land in my circle here. I think this is where he wants to be. I think he says close enough. And I like the reverse spin there to get perfect on the 10. And other than a dry break, Molina has had one error in the last 3 racks and lost 3 racks in a row. So Dan playing, other than the first rack, I would say perfect. But it's all about the opportunities. He's had some good shots, but also had some good opportunities. He's maximized, I would say, the opportunities that he was given, which is really what this game is all about. Sometimes you get 2 or 3 opportunities, and sometimes you don't get any. But you have to assume at this level, one mistake means loss of rack.
Goes to 5. And gets to 3. On table 47, Kyle Saltzman and Ricky G. Clark. Kyle goes to 5. Ricky G goes to 2. 5-2. Kyle and Ricky G, table 47. On table 48, Chad Raswick and Dustin Bosch. Dustin and Chad.
So a dry break from Dan now, giving Molina the first opportunity at the table. The 1 is available, but position on the 2, she's going to have to come into, I think, aiming into where the 9 is, or coming into that area around that side pocket to have shape on the 2. This is not easy at all. Let's see if she can hit this. Comes into the 5, might be okay. Really steep cut on the 2 ball or the bank. Remember to support the sponsors of the WBCA in the stream: Diamond Billiard Products, Joe's Glass, Chinook Winds Casino and Resort, Fort Worth Billiards Superstore, Ox Billiards. Nice shot, but no leave on the 3 ball. Big thank you to the sponsors who pitch in and make this event possible, and always great when their advertising pays dividends, so please support the sponsors. Molina with a jump shot, bank on the 3. Oh my goodness. I'm pretty sure she called that pocket too. So a very good attempt, but this rack was tough. Is still tough, I would say. Because Dan's got to look at the 3, but he's got no pocket for the 4 ball unless he can somehow get to this side, the bottom half of the table with the cue ball. And that's just not easy to do from this position. I wonder if he's going to load up with a bunch of low outside. It looks like he is. Get that cue ball. Needs to get the cue ball past the halfway mark of the table to have a decent look at the floor. And he does. Look at this. What a shot from Dan LOUIE. That's your world champion shot. Those are tough to execute. You put a lot of spin on that ball and a lot of draw. And hit it accurately. So now the 4-ball has a pocket. And he's looking at what's the 5-ball going to look like afterwards. He does have an angle that's going to take that cue ball down to the bottom of the table. Gets it around the 7 for the 5-9, and here's the one where you have to really control this, holding the 5-ball right there. You don't want that 5 to travel, which I don't assume it will. Should be able to leave that 5 right where the 9 is. Nice soft shot, delicate. And then the 5, and then he's going to play the 6-10 combo for the win of the rack. And if successful, we'll be off to a 6-2 start and a 4-game lead in this set. So he doesn't, okay. I thought he would kind of slow roll that, but he checked it with inside to bring it up a little bit better position for that 6-10 combo. He wants to be very, very good on this ball. It's a very makeable combo, but there is a lot of distance between the 6 and 10, so these are missable. And down it goes. Dan LOUIE up 6-2. And Molina in trouble. So in her last 3 matches, she never lost more than 3 racks per match. She won, 7 or 9-2, 9-3, 9-2 was her last 3 scores, playing very high level. But that's not happening here. But there's no quit in her. She's going to push through and continue fighting. She hasn't done a ton wrong. It's just that Dan's playing almost perfect. And this could be a dry break. It is a dry break with a cluster. You got the 5, 7, 8 tied up here. You got no look at the 1. This is going to be, I think, a bit of a safety battle in this rack, I predict. There's not a huge incentive to start running out the rack. The 3-ball is also in trouble. You'll note, so he's just going to push out. There's almost no reason not to here. There's just not a lot you can do anyway. And we'll see what Molina can find for a good safety. She might try to roll the cue ball into that trio of balls and move the 1 just down to the bottom rail. Let's see if she can do that successfully. And she did not make it to those balls. I know what she wanted to do, play a good safe and loosen up those balls. Because those three balls, they don't need to be bumped very hard to be playable. As soon as you bump those a little bit, that 5 is going to bump out and have options. That was really close, but good shot from Dan. So now we're going to find out really what he's got in store, because he's got the 3-9 combo. That's going to move the 3 out, but it's still, you got to wonder what he's got in store and in his plans for that 5-7-8 problem. And he's looking at it again, figuring out, does it carom? I wonder if you can look at it and see, does it carom into the corner off the 7? And it looks like the other 5th-6th match is just completed. Chad Bisconner defeats Damian Pongpanic 9-6. Damian is eliminated from the tournament, and Chad moves on to play Greg Odell. And we're going to get some commentary for that one. I believe we're going to have Eric Sawyer and Kerry Brower commentating that match.
And it played on.
So Dan, I can't see. Oh my gosh, he made that 5 ball. I wish I could have seen that, but he had his leg up on the table, like showing his flexibility, and drills the shot, makes both balls. I was wondering if that carom went, and it sure did. So I'm going to go on break here. I got to take care of some stuff, but I will be right back with more commentary. So hang out here, but keep watching the action. I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
compliment your shape, though. Take the shot. Thank you. spirit of.
Okay, I'm back in for more commentary. I had to take care of some business there, so I missed the last couple of racks, but it looks like Molina is on the comeback trail. When I left, Dan LOUIE up 6-2. I come back 10 minutes later, and it's 6-4. That's how these things go. Yep. Sorry, guys. It was not a technical difficulty. I just had to leave the booth for a few minutes, take care of something. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Let me know that I could not be heard. And a nice kick shot from Dan. And he opens up the 10 ball, so that was multi-purpose. Opening up the 10-7-6 a little bit. Still going to be a challenge on the 4 ball. He's going to have to work to be able to get position on the 4. Might have to actually plan on position on the 3 to maybe come into the 4. Yeah, I think it's just thinking about, hey, he gives the wave because he knows it's getting safe. So he gave her the sorry, not sorry wave. So Dan getting a fortunate opportunity to come back to the table with a good look at the 2 after his miss. But still, the 4-9 is the issue. And I think we've got a safety coming here. I don't think that he's going to attack this 3-5 combo. I think the safety is to draw off the 3 ball, hitting off this side of it, bringing the cue ball this way, trying to get into this pile of the 10-6-7. He looks like he is maybe going to attempt this combo. It's going, I think, offensive here. Fairly aggressive move. Ended up working out okay. Not going to leave Ortiz a whole lot to work with here. She can see the 3-ball, but doesn't really have much place to do anything with it. And she doesn't really have a good kick angle, does she? Maybe she does. Okay, wow, she calls the 5. That was an incredible shot. She had to kick with inside spin, thin off the thin edge of that 3-ball and pocket the 5. That was absolutely incredible. And then not even bothering with pocketing the 3-ball and trying to take on the 4. She's just going to go ahead and play the safety game. Wow. That was an amazing kick shot. To kick that ball, she had to check it up with a lot of inside, and then only could she make that 5-ball if she hit the very thin edge of the 3 to carom the 5 into the pocket, and she hit it absolutely perfect. And then plays the safety. So Dan with a good hit, but well, ties things up a little bit more too. Got a little bit messier. Appreciate you guys sharing this stream. We've got 74 live viewers watching. Those of you joining, this is the WBCA Lincoln City 2024 9-ball championships, and this is the elite division, so they are playing 10-ball. We're down to the 5th, 6th place round on the B side. Stan Taranjo, as usual, is sitting in the hot seat, waiting until tomorrow before he'll be playing his finals match. We still got to get through 6 more, I guess 5 more players to be eliminated before that's going to happen. That's all going to be happening tonight. So lots of pool left to go. We got 6 tables streaming here. Lots of action going on. We got Greg Odahl versus Chad Bisconner is the other elite match that's on the EvoSports table. That's on table 2. And I've got Eric Sawyer and Carrie Brower are doing commentary on that one, which is why I had to leave the booth for a minute. I had to get them set up. This is very tricky. Got a ref watching this with the bridge. Jacked up over the balls with the bridge. Punting the 1-ball off the rail and back up. Oh, that is so hard to do. It is hard to do without fouling. But she executed it really nice. And Dan giving her a tap on the table with appreciation because he knows how difficult those shots are. And if anybody out there is wondering where you can catch all the other action on the other 5 stream tables that we have for EvoSports, you go to EvoSports Streaming channel on YouTube. And inside of that channel, make sure to click subscribe, would really help us out. But we've built a playlist in the channel specifically for the WBCA 9-ball 2024. So just look for that playlist, and then that playlist will show you all of the matches that are happening live right now, and it also show you all of the matches that have been played this week here in this event. So you can go back and watch if you missed something. And they're all individually titled and labeled with the player names, so it's very easy to search through and find the match that you want to see. And a good kick from Dan, but this is going to lay up. And now Molina, so she passed up an opportunity at an easy 3-ball earlier because there was just, the 4-ball was so nasty. And I wonder if she's going to take this on and try to do something with the 4. She doesn't have an angle to come into it or break it out. She's kind of be coming away from it a little bit. It's pretty straight, but she might elect to play a safety on the 4 from this position. I think that's what we're looking for here. Either that, or she could take on the bank. That's a little bit risky. It's a little aggressive, especially when you're down 6-4. You don't want to take unnecessary risk. I think she's going to come off the rail with the cue ball and back to the 9, just like that. Very good execution, and now Dan's got the pressure on him to execute something here. Oh, well, that's the way it goes sometimes. Molina gets rewarded for the safety play. Gets that coveted ball in hand that you're always seeking when you got a difficult table to navigate. And the 9-ball kind of impedes her path for naturally getting where she wants on the 6, but I think that she should just be able to draw back maybe just 6 inches. I think having a nice little angle, being fairly flat on the 6, but just a hair on the lower side of it. Maybe drawing back to somewhere in this area would be nice. Play the 6 from there with the draw, and that gets you on the 7 pretty good. So maybe drawing back a foot or so. Brushes the 9 just a little bit. That's pretty good. She's pretty flat. I think she wanted to have just a slight angle because being flat, well, she can always roll forward and play the 7 in the top left corner, and I think that's probably what she's going to choose to do just because she didn't get the ideal angle to draw it over a little bit and play the 7 on the shorter pocket, play the shorter shot. Nothing wrong with just rolling forward a bit. The 7 clearly plays to the top left corner. She's got to wait for the player next to her to get finished. Good control. It's one of the hardest shots to navigate, just rolling forward to a specific spot. Now she does have just a slight angle on the 7, so she's going to nudge this. She's going to nudge the 10 on the way up but I don't think it's going to impact anything. And in fact, it might help her a little bit. Position. But it is going to make that 10 a little closer to the rail. That might be impactful. Okay. Yeah, if you hit it at that speed in that part of the pocket, it bounces the 10 out. And I think that was very intentional. She didn't want to push that 10 to the rail and have it be more difficult. Much easier to play it from where she put it there. A little back and forth. And there is no quit in this. And this player, she is a competitor, and she wants to win every single time she gets up there. And we got a ball game. Dan was looking like he was ready to run away with this thing in the beginning, but there was a period earlier in this match where Molina had a dry break and Danny ran out, and then he broke and ran the next rack, and then he won the rack after that. It was just one after the other. It was just piling on the wins. And now it's been all Molina ever since that point. 3 straight wins for Molina Ortiz, making this a close match. And it looks like we have a player break. Player break. We'll be right back in about 5 to 10 minutes. All right, we're back from the player break. Dan LOUIE with the break. Gets a ball in and a shape on the one. It looks like on the EvoSports channel, we got lots of different matchups going on. We got Melissa Rushton versus Chris Robbins. Greg Odahl versus Chad Bisconner in the Elite Division. We got the one you're watching, Molina ORTIZ and Dan LOUIE. We also got Cameron versus Jerry. Not sure which division that is. Four streams going right now. Dan trying his best to navigate through this rack. The 5 to the 6 is the big challenge. I believe he wants to get very flat on this 5 ball so he can just draw back. He's going to have an angle. It's not terrible. He could, I think, hit this with low left, coming off the ball. Bringing the cue ball down to this path like this, I think is what we're looking for. I don't see any other way to do it. Or low right, I should say. Low outside. Yeah, easy to miss those when you're really trying to get extra on it. He got the leave absolutely perfect, but unfortunately, he's left a shot. And the question is, can Molina hold this cue ball to still have shape on the 6? I think so. I don't think it's a steep enough back cut to the corner to where she's going to be, she's checking to see what the maximum distance is and still have shape on the 6. I think she'll be all right. She's got to be very careful. Probably wants to cheat it to this side of the pocket right here to really minimize the movement of the cue ball, because if it comes up too far, like that's right where her finger is, that's about the furthest that she can go without being hampered or blocked by the 8. It's good to know what your limit is there. So you are going to see this ball get cheated just as far as she can cheat it to that pocket to minimize the movement of the cue ball. Very tough to hold, and I think she's done it. I think she's done it just enough. You see the backside of Greg Odahl there, and table number 2, he's playing against Chad Bisconner. The winner of these 2 matches that are going on tables 1 and 2 will face each other in the 4th place round match. And Molina has figured this out, and this is looking pretty good. And we're looking at a tie game here.
Bagley and Roxy Applegate. Louis goes to 5, Roxy goes to 3. Table 56.
And there we go. Just like that, Dan Louie's 4-game lead has been wiped away, and it is a fresh ball game, and we're playing a race to 3 with Molina breaking. So Dan Louie was the heavy favorite about 30 minutes ago, and I put Molina as the favorite now just because of the breaks. She won the coin toss, and when you've got a short race to 3 like it is now, that's a huge advantage. But it's only an advantage if you can make the break work. And like I said earlier, we saw Molina with a 5-ball break earlier, and so she's got the ability to really get this going, and this is not going to work out well. She's pocketed a ball. All right, I had to take care of something in the booth, so I missed what happened here. All I know is that Molina had the break, and then are we on a push out here? I'm not sure, but Dan is calling the 10 ball, so he's going to kick this one, try to combo the 10 in the top left corner. And that's not going to be very successful. He did move the 5. He wants to know if she wants to put it back or leave it where it went. She says leave it. So Molina with the first open look of this rack. And she doesn't want to take on anything offensive here, going for the defense, looking to see if she got it. Can't tell by her facial expression if she left the window or not. Dan going around to check, see if that window is there. So it looks like he does have a piece of this. Just missed it. Hit it too full, so that tells me he definitely had the cut on the one. And I think we're going to see another safety coming. Not very easy to execute this safety, though, so I wonder if she actually wants to go offensive and call the 3 ball. Unless she has the 1, I don't think she has enough of the 1 to take it down to the bottom right corner. But maybe. Nope, safety. And how about that? How about that? How good did she hit that one? Splits the gap between the 3-4, holding the cue ball right in there. And what a fantastic shot from Molina Ortiz. She is just nailing these safeties over and over. And we saw that in several of her other matches. Not taking unnecessary risk. Both players know how important this rack is. With a tied score this late in the match, every rack becomes incredibly critical. But Dan is no stranger to these types of situations. Neither is Molina. I don't know if you guys are noticing or not, but it looks like there's a fruit fly or something flying around where the camera is. I see it on my screen. It's amazing how large those things can look when they get close to the camera lens. Okay. Very good shot from Molina, splitting the difference between the 5-9 and getting in for the 2. That was really well executed, right perfectly in line. Looking at where she wants to be on the 3 ball. Looks like she wants to come out. I think she wants to bring that cue ball out to this area here to have the little back cut on the 3. I think that's what she's going to attempt for. We'll see. Yep. Back cut on the 3 leads nicely to a position on the 4 in the same pocket. Got a little bit longer than she wanted on this, a little close to the rail. That position made the transition to the 5 a lot more touchy. And I think that the only way that you're doing this is to slow roll it. I don't think you're putting any kind of a stroke on this ball. Just got to roll it in and get the best shape you can on the 5. I mean, she could elect to stroke the ball and put it in the corner and stun it off that rail and back out, but that's hitting it with a lot of pace. I don't know if she wants to do that. It's either that or the slow roll to the side. Yeah, those are just tough to do. As pool players, we never like to roll the ball, those slow roll shots, especially to side pockets. They can get a little funny on you real quick. A nice shot from Dan, banking that 4-ball back. That was a heck of a shot and gets shape on the 5. It's not the easiest shot. He might choose to bank this 5-ball also if he feels like the shape is just not very good with the cut to the side, but I think it's there. I think the cut to the side will be able to hold for the 6, but the bank seems more guaranteed a position on the 6. I think the cut to the side, you could get a little funny. It's a little tougher to hold. You gotta, yeah, it's tough to hold that in position, but he got there just enough. If that rolls a little further, he's in trouble. Good shot from Dan. Couple of good shots in this inning. Working his way through, trying to get that advantage in this set.
Jackson?
And there it goes. Dan LOUIE with the first win in the last 5 racks. Molina had won 4 in a row previous to this. And now the advantage goes quite favorably to Dan LOUIE here.
I was actually in a meeting. That's why.
Yeah, make it flux.
It's okay. Beat the guy who beat Nicky.
Yeah.
Beat the guy who beat Nicky.
All right, Dan LOUIE with the break now.
Probably. You're probably going to be playing back-to-back for quite a while.
Yeah, all the Bye-bye, how are you?
Oh no, disaster. That break was looking so good until that ball got kicked into the corner. And that's going to give Molina ball in hand with the one ball and then a potential 2-10 combination. I know you never really like it, but that two ball doesn't really have anywhere else to go. There's really no other options. Yeah, she's eyeing it up right now, 2-10. Obviously got to get the one ball first, and she knows that, but she's just lining it up to see how it looks and where she wants to be, what that feels like. She's going to do the homework on this one, making sure. And now she's ready. That one ball, she's going to draw it back to the rail where her finger is right now. Just draw it straight back to that diamond. And bring it nice and close to the two so she can manage to have the best possible look at the 2-10 combo. And this is huge. To take the advantage back with this shot. It's amazing how much you can have swings in these games. A scratch on the break. A 2-10 combo coming up. No good. It was well off the mark. 10 ball hit the first diamond, so that was not at all what Molina was looking for on that shot. Misjudged that. Combos are difficult. Is there lots of static going on? Let me check. Maddie boy, I'll check on that and see what's going on with the static. Yeah, not sure about that. I just checked the audio. It sounds good. Maybe just a touch of static for the microphone, but don't really hear a whole lot. So might be on your end, Maddie. And Dan with a missed shot and the lucky roll gives the wave, the obligatory wave. Molina. A little frustrated because your opponent misses. You like to have an opportunity.
Table 50, Harley Dodson and Kenneth Thomas, both going to 4 on table 50.
Thank you, Dane. Appreciate the feedback. So good hit from Molina. But this is going to set up a good chance for Dan to do something here. I think he wants to send the 2 ball down to this area of the table. Bringing the 2 ball down in this area and keeping the cue ball up here. That's kind of what I like. I think he's got the opportunity to do that. Okay, so a little less distance to travel, but that's okay. That works out really well. And it does look like there's a window here. Maybe with a little spin, but it's scratchy, right? If you come in off this part of the 2-ball, I think you're going right in the drink. So that's the easiest way to hit the 2, but it's also risky. So I think we're going to see her take some time on this one to figure it out and make sure that she's got the right angle to kick at this. Yeah, the long way kick was too risky because of the scratch potential. So she's kicking the shorter distance, and that got the scratch on the unexpected kiss off the 5-ball. And that's going to bring Dan LOUIE to the table with ball in hand and a chance to go on the hill. Melissa Rushton up 6-2 in her match. I think against Chris Robbins, I believe. What's going on over there? Thanks for the update, Dane. Dan swinging that cue ball around. Got a little far on this, so he's got a little bit of a backward angle on the 3-ball. That's going to make the 4-ball a little more difficult to have prime position on. It's hitting this with draw. Yep. Stun. I like it. I like that shot. Good shot, Dan. And the hardest ball on this table is the 10-ball. Just because it's on the rail. But the 9's in a good spot to help you get position on it. Melissa Rushton and Clay Belvoir won the Elite Scotch Doubles. And now Melissa looking to go deep into this gold division singles. So she's looking to have a really good Lincoln City trip. And Dan's going to get stuck behind the 10. Nope. Okay, good. I thought it was going to keep rolling, and he could have gotten stuck behind the 10, but boy, that put the brakes on just in time. However, he did get very straight on this 5. So he's going to have to put a stroke into this to get out of here and get a little closer and a little better on the 7-ball. So he did have a little angle, maybe he manufactured one a little bit, but great shot and got dead perfect on the 7. And I like his odds from here. Oh, nice, Dane. You got 2 phones going with both matches on. I love it. Well, we have 6 matches streamed. You need 6 phones is what you need. So we have 6 live streams going here at the same time. And Dan LOUIE rattles the 7-ball. That's huge. Oh my gosh. That was a huge, huge miss from Dan. And this time he missed and left a shot. The last time he got a little fortunate with a good roll. This time he did not. Very surprising that 7-ball wasn't tough. He just put a little extra into it to get over for the 8. And that's probably going to cost him. Boy, going up 8-6 in this match is so huge versus being 7-7 and having another tie game. This is a massive pivotal match. It's kind of funny how this match has gone. Dan wins 4 in a row early, and then Molina comes back and wins 4 in a row. It's tied 6-6, and then they've gone game for game ever since it was, or after it was tied. So quite an entertaining match for sure. Yeah, that's right, Dan. That Dan got hit by the pocket monster, punched that thing right out of there. I like how she kept the angle on the 9 so that she could bring the cue ball down. You don't want to be on the other side of that 9. Makes this much more difficult, but she got perfect. Nice slight angle. Should be able to just draw this cue ball right down to the first diamond. Or come off the rail, either way. And we got a tie ball game. So that missed 7-ball from Dan LOUIE was absolutely massive. Could have been, that could be what turns the tide late in this set. We are at a race to 2. Who's going to be going home and who's going to be moving on to the next match, the 4th place match. And over on the other table, on table 1, Greg Odell and Chad Bisconner. Chad is up 3-1 in that set. The winner of that will play the winner of this. And then the winner of that match will go on to play let's get the bracket up. I don't have that one. Dry break for Molina. A dry break and a easy 1-ball to get started. First thing I'm looking at is what's going on with the 5-7. Does the 5 play in the side pocket? I think it does. I think you can get that 5 in the side without moving or rearranging anything. And the 4-ball actually is in a good spot to get you to that position to play the 5 in the side. So it's really about that. But then the first thing is the 2-ball. You might have to play, after the 1, you might have to play the 2-8 combo. So lots of work to get done to get out of this rack. And he is very straight on the 1-ball on the rail. So I imagine he's not going to be super close to the 2-ball unless he has a little angle here. Even a little angle, he'd be able to, do something like that. And boy, did he really get a lot out of that. And look at this. Does that 2 get bumped into a position where he can play it by the 8? I think he can, actually. I'm not sure if he's calling. Does the 2 play by the 8? It does. But he's calling the 8-ball. So he's caroming. It does play by the 8. He has a hair available. It's just it's so small of a pocket that he wouldn't want to hit that very hard. So he's playing this so that he can get better shape on the 3. Playing the 2. He's playing the 8 ball carom. And doing that so that he can get better shape on the 3 ball. But this got a little steep on him. All right, congratulations, Melissa Rushton wins 7-2 in her match.
Second chance sign-ups closes at 7 o'clock. Please be at the tournament zone.
Oh, we just broke triple digits. We got 101 live viewers watching this now. Everybody wants to see. This is an edge of your seat thriller here. Missing the 2 ball on the cut. Is she going to get fortunate? She is. And Dan Louie is going to have to pull something out of his hat here. Going to be tough. I don't like the jump because, for one, you're right on the rail, and 2, that 9 is pretty far away from the cue ball. You're going to have a lot of bounce in that cue ball after it lands. So I think he's going to have to kick this. Just come right rail, one rail right after the pocket, right into 2, but you're not going to be really making a ball here. And it's pretty tough to get safe out of it as well. So this is a really bad spot. Even if he makes the hit, it's probably not going to get safe. And I don't see any way of pocketing a ball unless he hits it just perfect to where the 2 ball comes off of this rail and goes this way into this pocket. That's the only potential that I see for an offensive shot. Yeah, this is a real bad spot for Dan. And a very unfortunate roll for him. A fortunate roll for Molina. Missing that 2 ball. And coming out like that. But that's how the game goes. You're going to get some of those and you're going to give some of those. So Dan with the jump cue. He is going to jump over this 9 ball. Try to make contact. Is going to get a lot of air and a lot of bounce when it's coming into the 2. Calling the 2 in the bottom right corner. Fasten your seatbelts. Oh, a heck of a shot. And it did have a lot of bounce, and it hits the rail and flies up in the air and comes back onto the table. So that was an incredible jump shot from Dan Louie. Unbelievable. I really thought that ball had too much air time, that it was going to end up going off the table, and it certainly tried. Gets a fortunate bounce off the edge of the rail. Instead of going off the table, it bounces back onto the table. And that was one heck of a shot from Dan Louie. A big-time jump. He was in a bad spot, and it lands very favorably for him. Molina can see the edge, I think, of the 2. We got a crowd of people watching, too. This is very entertaining. Not only watching online, but watching in person. Update on table 2, Chad Bisconner up 4-1 over Greg Odell. So Molina deciding to go for the kick. Gets the good hit. Oh, and she pockets the ball. Did she call it? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter if she called that pocket. She probably did. It doesn't matter because Dan would give this back to her anyway. And now we're going to see more airborne action. Dan showed us what he has with his jump cue. Let's see what Molina's got with her. She's calling that top left corner a jump bank coming up. This is a wild, wild game. Oh my gosh, that was so incredibly close. And I don't know if she sold out anything. Maybe Dan has this 3 ball. A heck of an attempt from Molina. A tough jump bank and not far off the mark. Man, what a wild, wild finish in these last few racks.
Table 46, Aaron Moss and Louis Santiago. Aaron goes to 3, Louis goes to 4.
Now, who's going to get on the hill first? That's the key.
Table 47.
Get on the hill first, and you're usually the favorite.
Matt goes to 5, Jason goes to 3. Table 47.
So you're going to have to go rail first here to this 3 ball? Well, he did not go rail first, but got a heck of a roll out of that one, too. Molina just might be keeping that jump stick. This is a really tough jump because she's got to get up and over that 5 real quick, so maybe not jumping this one. I don't think she'll be jumping anything here. Let's see. No, she's got her full length playing cue. She's looking for the kick angle. She's doing the parallel shift to figure out the 2 rail angle because she wants to come right before that 3 ball with the second rail. Oh yeah. Don't. The people at home don't hear it. You just hear it louder than me. Oh, it's okay. Everything's fine. And Chad over there on the other table. Molina's waiting for Chad to get out of the way a little bit, so she can execute. Here we go. Comes full into the 3 ball. The important thing is not giving up ball in hand. Now let's see what Dan LOUIE has in store for this one. He's got some places to hide. I think he's got the opportunity to clip off the edge of the 3 ball, sending the cue ball either into the 5 or this way into trouble over there. That's what I like. Looks like that's what he's looking for as well. Chad Bisconner up 5-1 over Greg Odell on table 2. Watch the scratch. That could have gotten a little bit funny, but that worked out good. He got safe, I believe. I don't think there's a window there. There's not. But she might choose to jump because she would only have to jump over the edge of the 5 ball. And yep, she is going to go get her short stick. I don't blame her because you only have to go over the edge of the 5. And this comes with a pretty high reward. If you can make this shot, there's a fair chance that you're going to get shape on the 4 as well. You could jump and hit it full, kill the cue ball right there and send 3 up table to the other side as a safety. Yeah, that's what she likes. I like that too because it's better than going for the shot. But look at this. Here we go. So now Dan has a chance for a 3-10 combo. Not easy, but it's there. And it's really the only shot that he's got. Unless the 3 plays by itself, he could elect to do that, but you might want to take a chance here because you could get a safety out of it as well if you're able to bring the cue ball back up 2 rails and back up to kind of where it is now. You might end up with a good safe out of it. Oh, and he scratches, and the 3 ball hangs in the pocket. And here we go, more drama. That was a scratch line. It was definitely there. But he was putting all of his effort into that 10 ball. Now the 3 to the 4 position, not super easy. That 3 is very deep into the pocket. So Molina looking to draw this cue ball out. You got to get your sand wedge and get yourself out of the bunker. And she's got to pass, to get on the 4, she's got to pass this line, right? You want to pass that line. Does she have enough of the rail to where she won't catch the point? That's the question. Sometimes those balls are so deep and more towards the center that you can't really come off the ball without hitting the point of the cushion and just killing all the action off the cue ball, and it just doesn't go anywhere. But if it's kind of sticking out a little bit, she might be able to do that. It looks like she can. That's a more favorable way of doing it than to try to draw. To get past that point, no, she did not get there, and that's going to be a big error right there for Molina. And a very untimely mistake. This is the point of the match where every mistake is magnified intensely. Dan really being selective here. Knows how critical this rack is. First to the hill, they say. Huge advantage, 2-to-1 advantage. If Dan can win this rack, he'll be breaking the next rack. He kind of waved his hand. He didn't. I don't think he liked exactly where he got there, but float forward, he's going to have to watch the point of the side pocket. If he's floating forward for the 6 in the opposite side, he's going to play the 5 in the bottom right corner and push that cue ball forward, but he's got to watch that side pocket. He hits those points of the side pocket, and he's going to get in trouble. He doesn't. He wobbles it in. That's using the whole pocket right there. That's what they call using the entire pocket. But he needed to, I think. And he got absolutely perfect. And I think he's going to try to catch the window here between the 9-10. I think he doesn't really have an option to do anything else. He's got to be delicate. You don't want to overrun this. Just roll forward a couple inches. Not more than 2 or 3. It's going to... That 9 ball is going to come into play. So he decides to go ahead and stroke it. And that's a good idea. Because just rolling forward 2 inches is tough to do. You can get in trouble and you go forward a little too far. I like that decision from Dan. Dan LOUIE, world champion, looking to go on the hill in this elite singles division. Got a little hot on this one. Got to the wrong side of the 9, so he's going to have to use the extra rail to get around for the 10. Should not be a problem for him. He could elect to draw this off the bottom rail and back out. I kind of like the draw. Let's see what he's got. It's hard to tell, but he looks like he's using top. We go 3 rail position for the 10. 10 in the side pocket. Here we go. He's going to line up pretty, almost 10 in the corner pocket. I think he was aiming for the 10 in the side with that angle, I think. But he'll settle for the consolation prize of getting absolutely perfect for the 10 in the corner. And Dan LOUIE about to go on the hill. And he does. This is an exciting matchup, guys. And a shout out to the sponsors for the WBCA event. Thank you so much to all of the sponsors. Diamond Billiards Products, Joe's Glass, Chinook Winds Casino and Resort, Ox Billiards, Fort Worth Billiards Superstore, got the Trough, got Players Sports Bar in Kennewick, Rose City Billiards, Sandy's Trophies, Players Club Limited. Thank you all. And Littman Lights, of course. Littman Lights, the best lights in the business. We got Littman Lights on every single table in here. And look at how good it looks on these tables. Sponsors are what makes this all possible, so thank you very much to all of the great sponsors of this event. We all appreciate what you do, keeping the sport alive and growing. Dan LOUIE on the hill with the break. What a match this has been. How many of you want to see hill action? Raise your hand. Everybody but Dan is going to raise their hand. I don't know. Dan with a great break. I mean, what a time for that break to happen. 3 balls in and a straight-on look at the one down to the bottom right corner. He's going to be getting positioned for the 4 ball. The 4 to the 5 transition is going to be the tougher part because he can't really get flat on the 4 because the 8's in the way. He's going to have to give himself an angle on the 4 ball. That's going to make a little bit more of a difficult transition from the 4 to the 5, but if he can figure those things out, he's got the break and run to close out the set. When you're on the hill and breaking, that's when you want to put down your absolute best break, and I think that looks like the best break he's put down of the match. He got everything on that one. Yeah, what's really getting him to think is how he's going to position himself on this 4 to get on the 5. He wants to roll forward a bit, but not too far to where the 8's a problem. Not too far. Oh, he's going past the 8 ball. Is he going to get there? That is incredibly risky, but high reward if he gets there, and I don't know that he did. I don't know that he got there. That was an incredibly risky place to go to get on that 4 ball, to get the cue ball to squeeze between the 8 and the rail so that he had the easy straight 4 ball down to the top right corner and having an easier look at the 5, but now he's got his... He's going to go, I think, a little bit of rail first here. Unless he can maybe masse it a little bit, or is he going to go get his jump cue? Yeah, he just held his fingers out like it's just by a hair. He's missing it by a hair. So he's going to get his... Now, it looks like he's got his break cue in his hand. So he's using his BK Rush break cue, which I like, because if you only have to get over an edge... It's kind of easier to do with a full-length cue with a hard tip, phenolic tip, and the BK Rush is perfect for that. It's good for breaks, but it's also good for these little tiny jumps where you want to get the control. And you only have to go over just a little edge of the ball. I mean, how gutsy was that move to try to get inside between the 8 and the rail? I know why he did it. He wants that easy out. If he gets that position, it's almost guaranteed that he's locking up the set. But here we go. A mini jump shot with a break cue. And he drills it. What a shot. I know the camera wasn't the best because you guys couldn't see it, but I was watching live. He just drills that thing. So perfect shot from Dan. How exciting is this? And he's got a decent angle on the 5. 9 ball does come into play here when trying to get from the 5 to the 7. He's got to be aware of that. Let's see if he loads up with a ton of inside on this. It will make the shot a bit harder, putting inside English on these shots. Makes the pocket smaller. Typically like to hit these with outside, making the pocket more accepting. Let's see what he's got. He might just run into the 9 here. So he's going to take the extra rail. come around the 7 ball and absolutely perfect. What a shot from Dan Louie. Hitting all the highlight reels, looking for the break and run to close out the set. Man, what a treat. This is an amazing match to watch. And can he just hold the nerves long enough to complete these final couple of shots? A little bit of a funny angle on the 8. It's going to take him towards the 9. Let's see if he decides to roll this or stroke it. Dan doesn't usually roll balls. He'll typically take that extra rail and put some extra stroke into it to have that control. And I think that's what you're going to see here. I don't think he's going to slow roll this thing. Yep. Stroke the ball, get down there. I think he's pretty good. I like his odds from here. And he is just giving this everything he's got. I mean, he's going to need a sandwich after this one just to get his energy back, because I think he's using up everything on this match. Molina putting up a heck of a fight, but it might be all but over. And that's going to get perfect on the 10. What a run out. What a run out from Dan Louie, world champion. Showing us at all how it's done. Pulling out all the stops. And this 10 ball to seal the deal and eliminate Molina Ortiz, and he's got it. Congratulations, Dan Louie. He's moving on to the next round, and he's going to be playing against either Greg Odell or Chad Bisconner. Chad is up 5-2 in that set. It's on table 2. So guys, if you're ready for more action, jump over to table 2 on EvoSports Streaming on YouTube. That match is going on right now, and I've got Eric Sawyer and Kerry Brower commentating that match. So everybody that's watching this one, just go ahead and move right over there to that match and enjoy. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon.